Alright guys, this video is an island update. Obviously I haven't got to do the weed eating portion up here yet. I've been getting ready for the hay field to be baled up. You can see why I don't trust this bush hog here. That hoe throws plenty of rocks out and I don't trust it that much. So I try to use this thing as least as possible until I can get that repaired. But my neighbors need some of their little fields mowed out here, and I agreed to help them out on that end. So I'm just going to get this quick filming session in and then go mow their portion of their field for the horses. But the island is coming along very quickly. Things are germinating up here really fast. As a matter of fact, this is probably the fastest response I have ever seen from my spring and summer blend up here. It would actually even rival how fast it's beating my fall and winter blends. Just absolutely taking off, which is good. I think by busting up this hard soil, now granted I've already explained tilling does work to some degree, but it also causes other issues. But this ground up here was just so rock hard, I had to do something. And now we have plenty of species in here. And because the timing was messed up with the tractor breaking down, I've got volunteer brassicas or turnips in here. And I'll just let that be what it is. And if the deer want to eat it, they can. If not, it's another species to help loosen the soil up. But even in this one shot right here, I've got plenty of sun hemp, which is these tall plants right here. Soybean. There's brassicas right here. All these smaller items here are brassicas. And there's also deer vetch growing right up in here. And I have plenty of different species growing here. There's buckwheat there. The only thing that I don't, actually I take it back, I already see it. There is milo right there. So everything I've planted is now coming up. I came in here and busted this hard area up. I didn't till that last year. So a little bit more loose, temporarily loose dirt, I should say. Plenty of sprouts in here. There's clover that survived the tilling and it gets to live on. So I get clover and soybeans. Everything here actually looks really strong compared to what I've had in the past here. And I think as this ground improves, the responses will get better and better. I mean, you can see a really healthy looking mat on this end. That is actually fantastic for year one, and it's laid over very nicely, and it has allowed more of the clover to live. And because it was so weak, I only tilled through here one time. Now the only time I did more than once is like if I did a overlap run right here. So this little spot got two, but I tried to raise the tiller up and keep from digging deep in there twice. I just wanted one good pass was the main goal here. But everything is working great. And then we're going to find out how well it's actually going to do, even though it's off to a great start. Because of the lighting issue in here, I'm working on trying to convince her to give me more permission to remove either some of these trees or at least trim a few of them back. And I think I've pretty much convinced her that I can trim this beech tree back, and I'll cut him way back. And this other beech tree over here needs to be cut way back. I'm pretty sure I've got permission on that. So as far as removing some of these other standing trees, really like this maple to be gone, that's going to be a little bit harder sell. But maybe when she shoots a deer out of here, she'll change her tune. But everything looks great. I mean, I am very pleased with how this turned out. Now, here's the big difference from what I had in the past. In the past, I would hand broadcast this out here and let it lay on top of the soil, because at the time I was just not going to bring this tractor up here because of all these trees and try to weave in and out of these trees and bust this ground up. So what ended up happening was I had 90% or 85 to 90% failure rate as far as germination, because turkeys showed up, coons showed up, ravens or crows, squirrels, they come in and would annihilate what seed I threw down. And usually the seed that survived that onslaught was the clover seed, because it was just so small and they didn't really fool with it. But the bigger seeds, they grabbed them up immediately. This time around, we have our first introduced rotting mat, and my germination rates, based on how I walk this place, is probably in the neighborhood of 90% or better. I also see some more big rocks. I need to get these guys out of here. I completely missed these. So we'll say goodbye to these, and this will definitely help with root capacity in here. Goodbye to him. Also goodbye to you. So that will definitely help here. And there's one more I want to get him out of here. That right there looks really good. And even with this mat, I still see deer vetch. It's coming right up through the cracks of the mat. Soybean, surviving clover. It's all looking really good. So I think what will happen here is you're probably going to see a pretty quick start, and it may look like it's going to take off at first, and then it's going to start slowing down. A couple of reasons why I think this will happen. One, this part of the ground, obviously, that I've mentioned before, is not that great a shape. It's actually in pretty rough shape as far as nutrition goes. The other thing is the amount of light that's going to get in here is going to be pretty low at times, or especially evening sun. Let me step away from this stump over here. See how dark it's getting back here? I would think low success rates will probably happen there, but I went ahead and sowed it all in the same mixture throughout the plot. So if it does happen to do all right, at least it's there and I won't regret it. But just be prepared. If you're in these lower light plots, that stuff that is normally in your main plot probably won't do as well. And that's one of the reasons I also wanted to add milo in here, because I don't think the soybean is going to grow as fast. When it's reduced light like it is up here, it'll grow taller, but it'll probably look really bony and weak. There's another rock, or two, or 1,000. So anything I can do here to at least slightly improve the outlook of this place would be worth it. So my overall goals here is to increase soil nutrition, which will help add more attraction to this plot. If you've already got good ground, you don't really need to worry about it in this case, but at least here in the island, I need better soil, I need better tonnage, and I need better nutrition. Got to have it all. It's better soil that is health-wise with worms, bacteria, and of course nutrition does follow with that, but the plants themselves need better nutrition up here to serve my deer. And I think that will help push these deer just a little bit more, because it's in such close proximity to the main plot that these two can actually work together. And it's serving as like it's a small break off of the main plot. If this had been far away and you're talking like another mile away from my plot, then it's pure attraction at that point to me. But this one is not necessarily going to be a full-on grow giant plants type plot. It's just going to be make sure the ground's better, up the nutrition, and make whatever I plant in here taste better. That way I can beat my neighbor for competition wise as far as attraction, and make sure I can just up the nutrition in another location besides the main plot. And besides, this area here, the deer love this spot now. They treat it as their own private sanctuary. Used to, you wouldn't have seen hardly a single deer up here in this spot of the property. And now they're in here almost every day. And they've come back and started eating any of the surviving clover. I can see a lot of it has been scalped over there. So they're still being drawn into these pockets of clover that have survived, which is also buying me some time for the soybean and these other plants to get going. So there you go, guys, an island update. I think things are looking in a very positive light right now. I see rebounding clover down here. You know, there's plenty of other things. There's some milo there, some more milo, soybean. It's all what I need here. And I think this is going to do pretty darn good. So I may add fertilizer here again. Most likely I will, especially if I start to see it taper off. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to try to squeeze out what I can here. And hopefully this fall is where the real payoff happens. All right, guys, you all have a great day.